Okay, hello and good day everyone. No? So today we will discuss naman about the central angle minor arc congruency theorem and its converse. Okay? So dun sa unang topic na discuss natin about minor arcs and chords. This time naman central angle and then minor arcs. Okay? Now, central angle minor arc congruency theorem, it states that in a circle or congruent circles, if two central angles are congruent, then their corresponding minor arcs are also congruent. No, sinasabi dito na kapag yung dalawang central angle na yon are congruent, therefore, their minor arcs are also congruent. Example here. No? We have a circle C here. No? In circle C, we have angle YCM as a central angle and GCX as a central angle also. And then the minor arc of central angle YCM is YM, and then the central angle, the minor arc of central angle GCX is GX. Now, if your measured angle MCY is congruent to measured angle XCG, okay? Therefore, now the intercepted arc of angle MCY is MY, and then the intercepted arc of angle XCG is XG, are congruent. Okay, they are congruent. Okay, example here. Ano, sa converse naman niya, pag sinabi kasing converse class, yung pinagbaliktad lang na statement, no? If you still remember about the conditional and then converse statement, no? The if then statement, pag kinonverse natin yung if then statement, yung if magiging then, yung then magiging if. Or yung conclusion magiging hypothesis, then yung hypothesis magiging conclusion. No, that is for converse, binabaliktad natin. Pero ganun pa rin yung truth value niya, still true pa rin, hindi magiging false. Okay? Here, in a circle or congruent circles, if two minor arcs naman daw are congruent, then their corresponding central angle are also congruent. No? Kung dun sa unang theorem, kapag central angle are congruent, followed by minor arcs are congruent. This time naman, kung yung minor arcs nila are congruent, it will follow that their central angles are also congruent. Example here, no? The same figure. Okay? So here, yung measure of arc natin is your measure of arc MY is congruent to measure of arc XG. Then MY is the intercepted arc of measure of angle MCY, and then arc XG is the intercepted arc of angle XCG. Therefore, they are congruent. No? Followed by this statement. Okay? Congruent yung minor arc sila, then their central angles are also congruent. Now, here, if measure of MCY, no, is equal to 46 degrees, what is your MXG? Arc MXG. Okay? So, yung MCY natin, 46 degrees. Ano da yung XG? Arc XG. Now, yung measure of angle MCY natin is congruent to measure of angle XCG. No? Assuming that we are following or assuming that that these two central angles are congruent, no? Therefore, no, they are also equal, no? If your measure of angle MCY is 46, then your measure of angle XCG is 46. And then, by applying the intercepted arc theorem, okay, a measure of angle XCG is congruent to its intercepted arc XG, no? If your XCG is 46, therefore, your XG or arc XG is also 46 degrees. Okay? So they are congruent. Another one. No? If measure of arc MY is 42 degrees, what is your measure of angle XCG? Okay, ito yung MY. Ito naman yung angle XCG. Okay? Now, again, no? Your MY here is congruent to XG, no? And then they are equal, no? If your MY is 42, then your XG is also 42. And then your measure of angle XCG is congruent to your XG because ito yung maging intercepted arc ng central angle. Now, if your XG is congruent to XCG, therefore they are equal. Then substitute your XG to 42. Okay, that will make your measure of angle XCG is 42 degrees. Okay? Ito na yung sagot, no? XCG is equal to 42 degrees. Okay? How about this one? Now, if arc AD is 2x minus 17 degrees and then measure of angle COB is equal to 105 degrees, what is X? Again, measure of angle AOD is congruent to measure of angle COB, no? Ito yun eh. AOD, COB. Okay? Congruent sila. And then, they are equal. Ano no? Followed their arcs, no? Okay, susundan sila ng mga arcs nila are equal. No, medyo shortcut method na to, no? Di ko na kinuha si measure of angle AOD. Sinundan ko na kagad na yung measure of arcs nila, no, yung AD natin is congruent to CB, which is the intercepted arc of this angle. Now, if your AD here, okay, ito na, another method, no? Substitute natin, no? Yung AOD natin is equal to AD. Okay? Since they are congruent naman, no? And then, COB naman is congruent to your CB. Therefore, measure of angle COB is congruent to measure of measure of arc AD. Kasi AOD is congruent to AD, which is their intercepted arc. COB is congruent to CB kasi nga intercepted arc siya ng central angle na to. Then, by substitution, no, measure of angle COB is congruent to, instead of CB, palitan natin ng AD. That is because AD is congruent to CB naman. No? Now, here, your COB is 105 degrees. Yung AD natin is 2x minus 17. No? Solve for x muna. No? Remove natin degree symbols. Then transpose 17, negative 17 to the other side. We have 105 plus 17, no, is equal to 122 equal to 2x. Then divide both sides by 2. 122 divided by 2 is equal to 61. Then cancel this out. Your x is equal to 61. Okay? So, ganun lang. Now, in circle O, exercise tayo, no? DH is congruent to PT. Arc DH, to, is congruent to PT. If measure of angle DOH is equal to 34 degrees, what is the measure of angle TOP? Okay? DH here is congruent to PT. Therefore, your measure of angle DOH natin is congruent to TOP. No? Then if they are congruent, they are equal. Now, substitute. Your DOH is 34 degrees. Therefore, your measure of angle TOP is also 34 degrees. Okay? Another one. In circle O, if measure of angle DOH is congruent to TOP naman, no? If measure of arc DH natin, no, is 55 degrees, what is the measure of angle TOP? Now, DOH, given that your angle DOH is congruent to angle TOP, okay, it will follow that the arc DH is congruent to TP, no? And then, if your DH, and then it will follow that your DH is congruent to your measure of angle TOP. Now, your DH is 55. Therefore, your measure of angle TOP is equal to 55 degrees. Okay? So don't confuse with this one, class, kasi nga automatic talaga yan pagka congruent, sinusundan ka agad talaga ng equal sign, no? So sometimes hindi ko na ito binabanggit. Na diretso ako dito. Okay? Next. In circle O, na measure of angle DOH is congruent to TOP. If the measure of arc TP natin is 34 degrees, ito yon. And your measure of angle DOH is 3y minus 2. What is y? Okay? So here, no? By given, DOH is congruent to TOP. It will follow that DH is congruent to TP. Okay? And then, given lang natin this TP and DOH, kaya yung DH, palitan natin ng DOH, no? So therefore, measure of angle DOH is equal to, congruent to measure of RTP, okay? And they are equal, no? Followed by equal sign. Now, substitute your DOH to 3y, muna 3y minus 2, and then your TP to 34 degrees. Tanggalin natin yung degree signs. Then transpose negative 2 to the other side. You have 3y equal to 34 plus 2 is equal to 36. Now then divide both sides by 3, no? Cancel this out. Then your y is equal to 36 divided by 3 is equal to 12. So your y here is 12. Okay? That's it. Thank you for listening, and again, do not forget to answer your exercises. Okay? That's all. Goodbye and God bless.